picking up a rope if you're standing on the ground. So the rope's attached up there. It might be your abseil rope, whatever, and I need to get back up there. So take my first prusik, and I'm going to make an ordinary prusik knot. So if I start with the knot in the middle like that, and then I kind of push that knot through the prusik loop once, twice, 2 or 3 times, and then pull that end. And it twists out as we go. It's a bit of a twisty prusik loop, this one, a bit old. Make it a bit kinked after a while. So if I can get those. It's quite important to get the kinks out if you can, so that it sits nicely against the rope. And then try and get it sitting all symmetrically. Little kink out. It's really, yeah, the kinks in the prusik loop will make them not bite so well, so we do have to get rid of them. There we go. So that's looking symmetrical now. You can see that shape on the back and that shape on the front. So they're not crisscrossed. They're all lying nice and neatly. So that takes a little bit of sort of working to get to that. And then give it a pull. See if you think that that's gripping onto the rope. And then I'm going to clip that one. This is going to be the top prusik. And I'm going to clip that directly into my harness. Again, I might now give it a pull from here just to see if I think I've got enough wraps. If that looks like it's slipping, take it off and redo it and add another wrap. So that's the one I'm going to be hanging on. So I want it to be a really good solid one. So that's the first prusik, and that's attached to my harness. And now I need one for my leg. So second prusik, and here I might just do a French prusik. So doesn't need to be an ordinary one, but I do plenty of wraps. 1, 2, 3, probably do 5 wraps on this. Bring those ends together, and then this is the sling I'm going to use as my foot loop. So I'm going to put the carabiner in there. This is going to become a foot loop. So I'm going to make it captive around my foot, just with a lark's foot like that. And then I can probably, if you're quite sort of, got quite good flexibility, I can probably shorten that sling a bit. So I'm going to put, that might be a little bit severe, just because of where that is, but let's have a look. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can clip it in at that height, like that. So that's the basic setup. One prusik to my harness, second prusik, this time a French prusik, down to my foot, and I've got a lark's foot just to make it captive so the loop doesn't fall off your foot the whole time. And then the idea is that you shift your weight between those 2 prusiks. So I'm going to, standing on the ground, I'm going to get that one as high as I can, sit down in that, so that all my weight's on that prusik, and so that this one is completely unweighted. Move that up, and then 2 hands on the rope. I'm going to stand on that lower prusik, flick that top one open, slide it up, sit back on it. Do that nice and quickly because that bit's quite strenuous. And then unweight that bottom prusik by lifting your foot up, slide the prusik up, and then you don't want to, make sure you don't grab the prusiks as you're standing up. And what I'm doing is I'm standing up and like straightening my leg at the same time, and then trying to do it in a smooth movement. So stand up, get that leg straight, flick the prusik open, slide it right up, sit back down, have a breather. Sit back down. And then as soon as you've gone any distance, we don't want to rely on prusik alone. I'm going to put a second carabiner into my harness belay loop and just put a clove hitch in there, which I can move up with me as I go. So that doesn't need to come out of there, I can just move it up as I go. So one more cycle, up, leg straight, flick that prusik open, slide it up, sit back down. So you're trying to maximise how much height you make on every cycle. It's also possible to down prusik. So stand in your foot, flick the prusik open, pull it down to just above the other one, sit down in it, slacken the bottom one off, move that down, move me clove hitch down a little bit now. So I'm just feeding the clove hitch through, I don't have to take it off my harness again. A bit more slack. Stand in that, flick it open, straighten up, move it down, sit it in there, slacken your foot off, slide that one down. And you can't drop it too far, you've got to be able to, because you've got to be able to unweight that top prusik, so that should be about right. Stand in that so that your weight comes off the top one, open it up, slide it down, sit back down near the ground so I can take that back up clove hitch off now. Bring that one down, stand in that, down. Et voila! So if you're hanging in a crevasse, not standing on the ground, it's going to be a little bit trickier just to get started. But the principles and the technique is exactly the same. It's just the starting point that's a bit trickier. There's my first prusik going on. 3 wraps, getting the twists out of it. And get it lying nicely. Symmetrical. So that it bites nicely. There we go. And I'm gonna slide that up, and I'm going to put a carabiner into it. But I'm not going to try and clip into it just now because it's going to be too much of a fight probably to get it in. I'm going to get my foot loop set up as well first. So that one's ready to go. I'll get my foot ready to go. Nice and neat. My foot loop, ready to go. Get a beaner in there so I can let go of it. Touch get my foot loop round. You'll probably have crampons on, so you can be going. You'll be going around in between your crampon points. Get that lark's foot in there. Okay, and then there's my foot loop in, and then twist going on there. And what I'll do is, if I'm going to struggle to clip that in, I can maybe just about do it actually. But if I struggle, there's not enough room to clip that in because this gets a bit chaotic here. What I can do is, because I've got my foot loop on, I can stand up and then clip that in as soon as I've stood up. So I'll show you that. So get stood in that foot loop. get that one in, and then I can sit down on there, and then you're away. Then it's exactly the same as it was before. Slacken the top one, slide it as high as you can, sit on it, completely unweight the bottom one, stand up, straighten that leg, sit back down, have a proper rest each time. Just take the weight off the bottom one, slide it up, stand right up, and off you go. And at the moment I don't need a backup because I'm still tied into the rope, but yes, if you're going any distance you can also have that clove hitch backup as well.